I worked with Sam Waterston early in my career. We took over roles in Oh Dad, Poor Dad, Mama's Hung You in the Closet, and I'm Feeling So Sad at the end of its successful off-Broadway run, and then we went on a short national tour. But as so often happens in theater, after a show closes, you rarely stay friends or even stay in touch. And Sam may have held a grudge since there had been an unfortunate incident on stage, which wasn't my fault, it was not my fault, but it might have looked that way. You see, Sam's costume was a spotless white outfit of short pants, shirt, and a sweater that accentuated the idea that his character was juvenile, pure, and a virgin. The girl I played looks innocent but isn't. She wears pink, but she takes most of it off as she pressures Sam to have sex. He snaps and kills her. I know, sad. Audiences hate it when I die. And to keep Sam's costume perfectly white, the wardrobe mistress bleached it with Clorox every time she washed it. One night in California, I grabbed a hold of Sam's short white pants, as I'd been directed to do, and they were so weakened by Clorox that they ripped apart, leaving Sam with just a few rags dangling from the waistband. He was so embarrassed he ran off stage, leaving me shocked, holding a piece of his pants and not knowing what to do. He must have been wearing underpants. How bad could it be? But he was mortified and angry. And after what seemed like an eternity with me holding the fort but speechless, he came back on stage, holding the shreds of what was left of his pants around his groin, and we picked up the lines where we left off. When we got to the part where he strangled me, he did it with gusto. And yes, okay, these days, having your pants ripped off in a play seems pretty tame. But he wasn't happy about it, and the whole experience added a frosty note to our offstage relationship. We didn't stay friends after we got back to New York. But Gerald Friedman, who directed us in Oh Dad, called and offered us the parts of the battling duo Phoebe and Sylvius in As You Like It for Joe Papp in Central Park. The cast was amazing. At the time, a genuine movie star, and I'd never met a movie star before, Paula Prentice played Rosalind, the lead, and Penny Fuller and Paula's husband, Richard Benjamin, later a famous film director, had supporting roles. All three had met in a legendary theater program at Northwestern. The romantic lead was the gorgeous and sexy Richard Jordan, who went on to star with Robert Mitchum in 2 different films during his long, varied acting career before dying at 56 from a brain tumor. And the huge cast included everyone from Mitch Ryan, later famous for Dark Shadows and Dharma and Greg, the massively talented Michael Moriarty, for years the star of Law and Order, George Hearn, later Sweeney Todd, Charles Durning, a decorated war hero who went on to act in Dog Day Afternoon, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Tootsie, and many other films. Casey Townsend, with her unbelievable bosom, later the only female I knew to die from AIDS, and the talented Walter McGinn, who killed himself driving off Mulholland Drive after falling off the wagon in L.A. Yeah, acting can be dangerous, even lethal. How I've survived, I do not know. But the good news is, I'm still here! So, we had a fabulous cast, a good director, and a great classic play. Sam and I were cordial, if not affectionate, as the mismatched lovers, and we got our pictures in the New York Times. It was a hit! It had everything going for it. No, actually, it was an unmitigated disaster. Turns out Paula had gotten too used to acting in films, or maybe she was having a nervous breakdown, I don't know. And I don't want to say anything bad about her because she was a lovely person. Who knows? We never knew what was going to come out of her mouth. It was like she was in a whole other play from the rest of us. Not exactly Shakespeare, but close. And unfortunately, it turns out that without a Rosalind, you can just kiss as you like it goodbye because it just doesn't work. Somehow we limped through our run. After battling heat stroke from rehearsing on a bare stage in summer, mosquitoes from the picturesque lake, and frequent rainstorms in the open-air Delacorte Theater. Acting in Central Park is definitely a challenge. But then it turned out Oh Dad was the play that never died. Well, eventually it peacefully expired. But after Shakespeare, Sam and I did a limited run of Oh Dad on Broadway with Hermione Gingold at the Morosco Theater. And another mini tour to Arizona. And eventually, I did the show with Hermione in London's West End. They didn't take Sam. The next time I saw Sam was 47 years later when he asked me to dinner after I was in a production of The Seagull with his son James, who looks spookily just like him.